All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hope everyone is doing amazing today. We got a very, very, very special live today. We got a very special person coming on to have a great conversation. He definitely, I already know, he gonna drop some gems on y'all. uh, what's going on? Do me a favor, y'all. Y'all jump on. Let me know who we got in here, where you tuning in from. I know there's gonna be people coming from all over. So let me see if I can invite. Trying to send an invite. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro? Hold on, let me get this thing plugged up, man.
Yeah, take your
Yep.
time. Take your time. No,
We in here.
Donald.
We in here.
All right, Marquel. What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
Everything's good, bro. Let me turn.
I see. Donald, what's going on, brother? I see a lot of folks join. There, there we go. All right, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Hey, man, life's good, man. Life's good, man. I'm excited to be here, bro. I'm excited to be here. How you doing?
Mhm. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. No complaints. Definitely, thank you just for coming on. I know you're very busy. I know you got a lot going on. You're speaking, you're traveling, you're going to different cities and family and everything. So I definitely just appreciate you even coming on.
Hey, man, I'm honored. I'm honored to be here, bro. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's jump in. So I always like to start, if someone's been hiding under a rock or they don't know what's going on, or they must not have clicked on your Instagram or anything because you would have followed them around all over the internet all the time.
For
But
sure.
for those that don't know who you are, just introduce yourself and who you are.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Marquel Russell. A lot of people call me the King of Client Attraction. I'm from Atlanta. I dropped out of high school in 10th grade, got a ninth grade education. My first businesses were in the pharmaceutical industry. I jumped out in the streets super early, selling drugs. That was my claim to fame early on in life. I started an entertainment company where I was doing artist management, club promotions, and stuff like that. So if you in Atlanta and was around in my heyday, so to speak, you probably saw me out there moving around. Got introduced to network marketing after a lot of time in the streets. Well, fun fact, if it's a fun fact, when I turned 19, I was actually in jail on my 19th birthday, and my first son was born while I was locked up as well when I was 19. I actually met my first son in visitation, which is pretty interesting. Yeah. So now he's actually 18. So he just turned 18, just graduated high school. So obviously he took a different path to me because I didn't even graduate high school. So
Mhm.
fast forward through all of that, by the grace of God, today we have this company called Clown Attraction University, and we've helped our clients do over $1 billion in revenue to date. And and we just really just getting warmed up. So that's the abridged version. We can
Right.
unpack whatever you want, but that's the abridged version.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I know, trust me, I already know, I personally know about, the street stuff and going through that and, just that whole world,
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? A lot of us just that come from that. Like, we ain't know no better,
Right, for sure.
like at the time. Like, it wasn't, I say it wasn't like now with like access to information and, just the culture and just how a lot of things are nowadays for the good. I can definitely say my kids are definitely in a better space than me and stuff like that. And me just coming from a single parent household and my mom wasn't able to just pick me up from school and you could, what I mean, like work at
Mm-hmm.
home on the internet in the pajamas all day and be
Mm-hmm.
good, you know what I mean? So like that's
Facts.
a lesson now. And it's still amazing to me that you said like you've helped clients to over 1 billion. So
Yeah.
it's like, people talk about, oh, we help someone with millions or 10 million and stuff like that. But to like, put that B up there to me is like really, really major, So just to talk about a little bit more about your background, just a little bit of how you actually transitioned, as far as entrepreneur. I know you started with network marketing and stuff like that, but like to actually doing like specifically what you do, in digital marketing and just helping so many clients. Like, what was that from an entrepreneurial, space? What was it like to actually transition into like this and what you do now?
Yeah, for sure. So, man, when I got introduced to network marketing, I actually was in the club, right? Because I used to do, like I said, I used to do club promotions. So I was actually in the club. One of my homies had just had his mixtape. He was having his mixtape release party, and I had been out in the streets moving around all day. But I told him I was gonna go, and I always like to be a man of my word. So I was on the way home, and I was like, one of them days where you be like, man, I was gonna go, but I'm tired. I'm gonna go ahead
Yeah,
and take
right,
a nap.
right, right, right.
So it was one of those days. But I was like, I told my man I was gonna come through, so let me at least go through and show my face. So So I went through, I'm hanging in the club, kicking it, doing what we do, drinking, smoking, all that. And the dude walk up to me and he pitches me on network marketing. Right. And for those who are familiar with network marketing, you kind of know how those pitches are typically the same, right? So, but I didn't know this. I had never heard of network marketing before. I had never heard of MLM, pyramid scheme, online. I had never heard of none of this stuff before, right? Only thing I heard that was similar was Kirby. Like when I got locked up one time when I came home, I actually sold Kirby's for a minute, right? So I ain't had no success really, but but that was kind of some exposure. But anyway, he asked me, he was like, "Hey, how many people you know got a cell phone?" And I was like, "Well, everybody I know got a cell phone." He thought I was one of my bros, right? So, but I knew his face, he knew my face, but he thought I was somebody else. But he was like, "Hey man, how many people you know got a cell phone?" And I'm like, "Well, everybody I know got a cell phone." And he was like, "What if every time got paid, you got paid? What if time they paid their bill, you got paid?" And I was like, "Man, that'd be dope."
Right.
So he was like, "Well, one of my mentors will be in town. They're a millionaire. They're looking to expand in the area, and they're looking for some other individuals who want to get in on this bread." So I'm like, "All right, bet." So he was like, we're doing a meeting this Wednesday. I want to invite you out to introduce you to everybody. So I'm like, bet. So we met Wednesday. I followed them all the way out to Riverdale. That's probably like 30 minutes from where I was at. Saw this whole presentation and I was like, this is crazy. So there was like, was 500 to get started. And I'm like, I don't got no bank accounts and none of that at this time. So I'm like, all right, bet y'all take cash or how this work? Cause I'm like, okay, we can spend 500, we can make some money. I'm like, in my mind, that's a quick flip. Like I'm with that. I'm
Right.
familiar. That's y'all talking my language. Like, how do we do?
You
And I'm
know,
like, yeah. And I'm like, and it's legit. Like I'm in. So I jumped in, and then I'm like, I'm gonna kill this because they told me, hey, all you gotta do is get two people, and they'll get two people, and they'll get two people, and then you make millions of dollars. And I'm like, bet. So I'm like, I know I can get two. One of my bros was with me. I actually paid half of his way, and then he paid his other half. They met us 2 days later at Walmart to show me how to get a prepaid card. I loaded the money with the prepaid card, got in, and then I was hitting everybody up. I'm like, oh Lord, I found the lick. I found the lick. But all my homies was like, nah, bro, I'm good on that. Like, I'm
yeah.
good. Like, what's this, bro? This. Some people was like, oh, that's a pyramid scheme. All the people I respected, I'm like, dang. I'm like, this is crazy. But I'm like, okay, maybe they got me. I'm like, ain't number 500. I ain't really tripping. Because after nice people told me they went in, I ain't really had nobody else, bro. I just had the people who I knew a lot of people, but all the people who I knew seemed like they were aware of this and it was a pyramid scheme, or just a lot of my homies just weren't interested. So I kind of was discouraged a little bit. But the guys who recruited me, they would still hit me up, trying to help me and all this. And where I'm from, cats don't really be, especially once they get your money, they ain't really trying to help you.
Right.
So they hit me up, and one of them gave me a laptop. This is my first time introduced to online. He gave me a laptop, like it was missing buttons, and I had to keep it plugged up and all that. But it was a laptop nonetheless, and it was all new to me. And one of the other cats, they were just trying to help me. They were trying to figure it out. So they invited me to a conference, because in network marketing, they had these conferences every quarter. So they invited me to a conference. It happened to be in Atlanta. I went to the conference. Funny story. I woke up to go to the conference, and I went out, and all four of my tires on my car was flat. Like all four. Like that's a whole other story. I'll tell you about that one another time. But anyway, all four tires. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this guy like? This is like, okay, what is this? Like this? Maybe this is a challenge. Keep me. So I ended up getting it towed. Got it towed up the street. Got some tires put on the car. Went down to the conference. Got there a little late, but I made it. And I went there, everybody's suited and booted, everything. I pull up, that's when I used to wear Cartier frames all the time. So I had Cartier frames, some polo cargo shorts, polo shirt, just doing me. And I'm like, Air Force Ones. I'm like, okay, everybody's in a suit. I'm underdressed.
Right.
So I go in and I'm like, man, it's like 3,000 people in there, 4,000 people probably, black people. They're excited. They're talking about helping people win. They're talking about all this money, all the success they having. So I'm like, man, it's no way. I'm like, they could have tricked me. But ain't no way they could have tricked all these people. So I'm like, it got to be something to this. And prior to all this, I had showed this to my mom. My mom was like, hey, if you market yourself, it can work. So I came out of the event. I don't know what happened, but I came out of the event. I started getting some recruits. I hit a couple ranks. But somebody on my team sent me a link to this free video series. And it was like, hey, here's how you build your network marketing business without doing home parties and home meetings. So it was a 4-part like launch style video series. And at the last video, it sold a $40 ebook that taught you how to build your network marketing business without doing home parties and home meetings by using this thing called attraction marketing, which is basically just teaching direct response marketing for network marketing specifically. So I read this sales letter probably about 100 times before I finally bought it. Because mind you, I don't got no bank account, so I had to go back to Walmart, load my prepaid card again, and then come back and buy the $40 book after I had made up my mind to do it. And then of course it was an upsell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I'm like, I only had the 40 on my
yeah.
card to get the ebook. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go back through it somehow and bought the upsells and all this different type of stuff. Because I'm like, man, these white boys talking about they making all this money, and they telling me they're going to teach it all to me for a couple $100. It's like that was a total no brainer for me. So I was buying all this stuff, and then that's what led me into direct response marketing and how to get leads online and really how to market and all this different type of stuff. Because I was doing marketing and stuff in the club world, but this was a whole nother game. This was a whole nother ball game. So I'm like, okay, this is it. So I locked in on it, and I was just start buying all these courses. I literally went broke because I transitioned from the streets to going straight into the legit business stuff. But I went broke because I was using all my money that I was getting to buying these courses. And I wasn't implementing anything, which was key. So fast forward, I ended up picking one thing, which is content creation. Started to pick up some steam. I just started teaching what I was doing. People reached out to me asking me, how I was doing it. Could I coach them? And then I'm like, coach them? And I realized coaching was a thing. So I started coaching. I started coaching people. People was paying me a few $100s here and there. Then I started learning how to do the high ticket model, and we grew that pretty fast. And we got that coaching business to like 6 figures. And people want to know how we was getting clients from coaching businesses. And then we started teaching people that. And then I just kind of said, okay, you know what? 8 out of 10 businesses go out of business because they don't know how to attract clients consistently. So I said, we're going to just kind of plant our flag into helping them solve that particular problem, right? And then I also saw everybody at that time who was teaching the marketing stuff were white cats, right? It was older white guys, wasn't nobody really black teaching it. So I was like, man, if I can figure this out and then synthesize this information and teach it to other business owners that look like me, I think this would be a total game changer for myself, for my family, and also for the community as a whole and all these other business owners that look like me. So I just locked in, and then 10 years later, I'm an overnight success story, right?
Right. Yeah. That's a powerful story. And, I knew a little bit, but I didn't know, everything. I know it's a lot more to it. You know what I mean? That's
For sure.
the short version. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely a powerful story. Someone said, yes, where I need help with attraction marketing. Great segue. So that was my main, one of my main questions for like getting in the meat of everything we're going to talk about. I know
Yep.
we don't have much time, but like, what are some top ways that people can attract more clients? Because I know I hear it all the time. It's like, I'm not getting enough clients.
Yep.
I'm not getting enough people in my pipeline, and also not just attracting clients, but attracting the right clients.
Yep.
So what are some tips for people that can they want to attract more clients, especially for the coaches and consultants, service providers, those type of folks? What is some top ways that can attract more?
For sure. So one thing that I discovered. So I always say, so number one, I think it's 3 audience assets that you want to be building right now. So the first audience asset, you want to be building a social media audience, right? That's number one. Building some kind of social media audience. And just, even if you just pick one platform. So I know online, everybody make you feel like you got to be on all the platforms. Like you don't got to be on all of them. Like pick one, focus on really getting that one going. Because we didn't really start using Instagram for real till like a couple of years ago. I mean, I was posting on it randomly, but we didn't want reason really using it strategically like it was supposed to be used until I went on this tour with my guy David, and he was like giving me the game on the Instagram side, David Shans. And he started giving me, he was like, man, I'm sending a lot of people to your IG, but it's just like pictures of your family and stuff like that. He was like, you really got to start putting some content on there. At this time, I was doing content, but it was on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I was just putting it on YouTube as well. So we really just started using Instagram. And when everybody jumped on TikTok, we didn't jump on TikTok immediately. We more so just started using TikTok I guess this year, right? And start leveraging that into the overall strategy. So first and foremost, you got to pick one platform and start building your social media audience. And then you can grow and scale it as you're growing, as you having to hire a team and you got your systems in place and stuff like that. So that's number one. The second audience asset you want to be building is an email list.
Yeah.
So if I was to ask right now of the people who are on here right now, how many of y'all got an email list? Probably about a quarter of you all have an email list, right? Out of those people on here who got an email list, probably none of you email your list every day. Right. So I always ask people, it's like, you got people on your list who raise their hand and said they want to be on your email list because they're interested in what you have to offer, but you don't even communicate with them. But then you reach out and say, I need more clients.
Right.
So it's like, imagine you saying I require more. So it's like, for example, it's like you know, as you growing up and you got your parents and your parents like, well, I want that. You got your plate in front of you to eat, but you're like, okay, I want some of that. Well, I want some of that. Well, I want some of that. And it's like, well, you ain't even ate the food on your plate,
Right, 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 right,
but you
right.
want some more, right? So it's and you being a parent, you get it as well. So it's like you ain't even ate what you got, but you want more. So it's like, all right, you ain't even focusing on the leads that you got, communicating with the leads that you have. However, you want more. Like that don't make sense. So first of all, like you want to be building that email list, communicating with that email list. So some people say, well, if I email my list every day, that's too much. Well, they're gonna unsubscribe. Well, people are supposed to unsubscribe. That's how the whole funnel process works, right? But if you're not communicating with them, somebody else is going to be communicating with them, and then when they're ready to buy, they're going to buy from the people who are top of mind, right? So that's number two. Number three, you're going to build on a pixel audience. Right? A pixel audience is basically some of you, like Ryan said earlier, like some of y'all have engaged with our stuff, my stuff, or Ryan's stuff, and now you see our ads all over the place because you are part of our pixel audience. Meaning, this little pixel code is now installed on your browser and now it's followed all over. Now, of course, some people say, but what about the iOS 14 update? Doesn't that change things? Well, it does in some ways, but when you're a savvy marketer and you study this stuff, that stuff doesn't really stop you because it's still ways to do it. Like with the in-market targeting, like with lead forms, video views, all the different types of stuff. There's a lot of other cool stuff you can do to really put people into, and not everybody opted out of tracking, right? So there's that. But then you got all these other ways to still retarget them and put them in your pixel audience, regardless if they did it or not. So that's three things right off the top, like foundationally. But I think the biggest thing, so I got this framework when it comes to attracting clients, which is the SFM method. So the S is specializing. Most people can't attract clients or struggle to attract clients consistently because they haven't decided who they want to be when they grow up, right? They still trying to be everything to everybody. Like
Right,
1 week they're doing Airbnbs, 1 week they're doing Bitcoin, 1 week they're a real estate investor.
right, right, right,
One next week they're teaching ads, right? And then they teach ads to all business owners. And
right.
then next week they're doing this. So it's like they haven't decided like, all right, this is my thing. When it comes to this thing, you hit me up. So everybody know when it comes to ads and fixing your funnel, you go to the funnel doctor, Ryan, right? You know when it's this, like everybody who y'all follow and look up to online, they typically specialize in like one thing. So I think the biggest thing is like what really hinders people is like not picking like what's going to be your one thing and then just like planting your flag on that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 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 definitely. And I've, personally have done do that because when you first met me, I was doing finance stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that.
And completely different. And I had a book and, stuff like that. And then me just on the side learning digital marketing. Like I really like digital marketing. I was doing it for myself and then indirectly doing it for other people. But then I planted my flag in the sand. I was like, no, I'm doing an agency. We only do funnels. I'm the funnel doctor. Like people would still come to me for finance and other stuff. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, like that's not what I do. Like we do funnels. We specifically work with entrepreneurs and 6-7 figure companies. So we was able to do that. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
love that. If y'all getting value out of this conversation, let me know. Drop something in the comments, drop an emoji, drop some gems. I already told y'all he gonna give some gems, and that's literally just scratching the surface on everything.
Mm-hmm.
I know someone in here said, I think I need to get in school and study marketing. You can join CAU. I would, definitely suggest you join that. That's going to outweigh any, I don't care, any marketing department in any school because 99% of the time your professors in school have not ran a business.
That's facts.
Built a company and stuff like that, and you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and go in debt and still not actually learn how to sell and market. You're going to learn how to manage another person's company for
That's
the most,
facts.
so that's definitely another
That's
main
facts.
thing I want to talk about, which you talk about a lot, and you got it on me a million times about it: pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Pricing. Like, why don't people charge enough? Why is that so important? And just your whole philosophy around pricing that I love and still trying to get better at, transparently myself. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure. So I think so. Most people don't charge what they deserve to charge simply because they have a toxic relationship with money,
Mm,
right?
that's
So you have a toxic relationship with money. So let me explain what I mean. So so most people like totally emotional. Let's dial this back. So this is gonna be good. So let's dial this back for a second. So let me just unpack this. So this toxic relationship with money. So most of us think that, all right, we've been told that money doesn't grow on trees. People don't just have money like that. People ain't just giving away their hard-earned money and stuff like that. Also, a lot of us, depending on what community you grow up, when you grew up, you believe that you still believe in the time for money trap or the time for money philosophy. So you
Yeah,
still
right.
live in that. So think about it. So I know for me, where I grew up, if somebody makes $30 or $40 an hour, they make good money.
Hell
What
yeah.
about you? Same for you?
Oh yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So now you start your own business and you're a coach or you're a consultant or service provider, and you like, well, I'm gonna charge $100 an hour. And you feel because 30, 40 is good, so I'm gonna charge $100 an hour. And you think you're doing something, right? But if you think about it, if you charge $100 an hour, let's just say you're a coach, $100 an hour, and I'm just doing this math real quick, and you work 40 hours a week, $100 an hour, you 40 hours a week coaching somebody, and it's hard work, believe it or not.
Yeah.
You still only make $4,000 a week. And that's like hard work,
Hard.
right? So in reality, and you work with however many clients, you can actually have you one client that pays you 4,000,
Right.
right? And let's say you get 4 clients a week. That's 16 grand a month. I mean a week times 4. That's like 60. That's 62. Wait, 14 times 4. Okay, so that's 66.
4,000.
Yeah, so it's 4,000. So let me tell you right now, 4,000 times 4 is 16,000 a week times 4. So that's 64,000 a month, and that's only with 4, 8, 12, 16 clients, right? So you work a whole lot less, and you can really go to bat to help them get results,
Mm.
and you got some margin to
Right.
actually hire people to help serve
Mm.
them. Most entrepreneurs, they work way too hard because they doing everything because they can't afford to hire nobody else. Right? They can't afford that. They're an assistant. So it's like you're somebody who want to build $1 million business and you don't have an assistant. So you are an assistant. So you're doing the activities of $1 million business owner and you're doing activities of a $10 per hour employee, right? So and you wonder why we can't really break through. So that kind of comes from that toxic relationship of how we view money, how we associate with money. And they don't understand that we actually live in an outcome based economy now, not time for money. So for
Mm.
example, if you can show somebody how to make $1 million a year, I mean, people will pay you $100,000 to teach them that
Right.
because it's value arbitrage. So it's a matter of like, can you teach me? Because me, for example, if you could, let's say, for example, if you could show me how to, let's just say, add an extra $1 million a year to whatever, or let's just say, you say, okay, you're going to show me how to build a $1 million real estate portfolio. You can say, all right, I can teach you this over 12 months. I can teach you this over 6 months. I can teach you this over 6 weeks, or you can come to me in 6 hours and I'll teach you,
Mm.
right? I'd rather you teach me in 6 hours and pay you more
Mm.
than paying you over 6 months
Mm.
because people buy based on speed, not based on price. Most people think people buy based on price, but they really buy based on speed. So everybody has a current reality and they got a preferred reality where they're looking to go, and they have this transformation gap in the middle. So it's like, how fast can you help them close that gap to get to where they want to be? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do for people is charge them a lot of money, because
Mm.
if you don't charge them enough, you do them a disservice because they ain't gonna commit. So just for y'all, so for those who listen right now, how many of you have bought an online course for $100 to 1,000 or even 2,000, just a course, and you haven't even logged in yet? Let's see how many
Mm.
people like, or is it just me? I know it ain't just me, but how many of y'all got like courses you bought? You probably spent 500, 1,000, 2,000, and you ain't even logged in yet,
Mm.
let alone actually gone through it, right? So it's like, if you charge somebody 20,000, 15,000, now all of them still ain't gonna totally engage. However, you're gonna increase the chances of people actually going through it and actually getting the value, right? Some people just like to sell courses. They're like, hey, I'm just gonna sell logins. I don't really want to work with people. I just want to sell logins, blah blah. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. But for me, I like to actually help people win. That's why the number we measure is client success. That's why I'm able to tell you we did help our clients to over $1 billion in revenue, because we like to be hands on. We like to like really go to bat for individuals and help them get results. So it's multiple benefits. And then most people have a challenge with charging because they don't understand is in the presence of value, price is never an issue. So when people see value, price ain't the issue. And there's zero competitive advantage trying to be the lowest price person in the market, because you're always going to be trying to undercut the
Mm-hmm.
next person who's trying to undercut you. But there's massive competitive advantage being the most expensive, because when you're the most expensive, people aspire to work with you. So that's why people aspire to wear Louis Vuitton. They aspire to wear Gucci. They aspire to wear all these big brands because it's premium priced, and then they want to tap into that. And then last thing I'm gonna say about this, and of course we can unpack it, but just on this particular thing, is that your pricing dictates your brand,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for example, people already know the cheapest is never the best, and the best is never the cheapest,
Right.
right? So when you try to tell people, well, I'm gonna be the cheapest, but I'm also the best, that's cognitive dissonance. People, we already like program the opposite of that. And then some people say, and some people right here may be thinking, well, what if you're newer in the space, or what if it's a new offer? Should you start low ticket and then go high ticket, or should you start high ticket? Well, I believe go high ticket, because the way you position yourself in the market is how people are going to view you. I was just telling my son this yesterday. He's starting a clothing brand, so I'm like, hey, you need to figure out if you want to be the premium brand or the lower brand,
Mm-hmm.
because if you come out as the cheap brand, that's where you're always going to be positioned. So it's like Vera Wang. For those who are familiar with Vera Wang started off as a high-end dress company. They did very premium price dresses. But then they came in, and now you can get Vera Wang like perfume and stuff like that in Target. But it flies off the shelf because people see it as a premium brand, but now they can access it. Even with Tesla, when Tesla came in the game, they were super premium, but now it's more affordable. When now you see more Teslas on the road. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like if a Kia. So a Kia, you could probably get a Kia for like $30,000, right? If Kia came out tomorrow with a $300,000 version of the Kia, people would be like, "Nah, I'm good. That's just a $300,000 Kia." But if
Basically, yeah.
right, but if Rolls Royce, right, they're 300,000 plus. If Rolls Royce came out with a $30,000 version of the Rolls Royce, people would buy it because they see it as a $300,000. I mean, a $30,000 Rolls
Mm-hmm.
Royce. You see what I'm saying? So all that really ties into it. So a lot of times people make their pricing decisions totally emotional, but when you zoom out and really look at the data and really look at how people think and how people view pricing and stuff like that, then you have a different perspective when it comes to putting the prices on your stuff that you offer.
Man, I love that. Listen, he dropped so many gems. I hope y'all picking them up. Like, I literally got my pen right here taking notes too. Like I said, I hope y'all picking them up. Like, he dropping so much stuff, and that's still just scratching the surface, and I love that. And like I said, that's something that you've, already talked to me about a lot. Every time, we talk, it's always about pricing and how I can charge more and, everything like that. And just me being a marketer and doing ads and stuff like that. For you all running ads and doing marketing and, spending money in media buying, that's also going to help you as well. There's a saying,
Mm-hmm.
whoever can spend the most money to acquire a customer wins. So if someone is charging more than you, or you're not charging really what you should, that's, you actually doing yourself a disadvantage when it comes to marketing. And then
Mm-hmm.
you can pay to actually acquire a customer. Because I was talking to, two of my clients, one e-commerce, one not. And the e-commerce brands, they average order value may be 50, $100. And then someone else I'm talking to sells something for 10K. So
Yep.
the person that sells something for 10K or more, they automatically have the advantage over you.
Automatically.
Even if your product brand or whatever, even if you have a better product, even if your customers love you or whatever, they automatically have an advantage to you in the marketplace because they
Yep.
charge more and they can spend more to acquire customers. And
Bingo.
especially with Facebook and iOS and all the changes, and it costs them more to get in front of people. If I'm selling something higher price, I immediately have the advantage from the rip.
100% off the top. 100%. 100%. So now since they got that advantage, now they can go in and buy up other customers. They can go in and buy up market share because you can't afford to compete.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And then like a lot of times people, they like, okay, I'm gonna sell a course on the front end. So I'm gonna sell a course for $97 or $47 or whatever. But they don't realize a lot of the people they look up to who sell these courses on the front end, it's a loss leader. So meaning that they lose money on the front end. So a
Right.
lot of these cats, they sell something for 47 and then they upsell for 97 and they might have a 297 upsell. The whole goal of that funnel is just to break even. Right?
Exactly.
They're not even looking to make money, or they may even go in the red a little bit
Right.
because they're looking to get you into the back end, and that's where you really make money. But most business owners, they can't afford to go in the red on the front end or even break even. They need to make money now. So that's why I always say you lead with your premium price offer, so that way you can become profitable, and now you can invest back into ads, and then continue to add more gasoline to it.
Yeah, I love that. So one of my last questions, and I know, we don't got too much time. I know you got a busy day, is around paid media buy-in and everything like that. Because like you said, and we said, if you ever clicked on anything in Marquel's, he gonna follow you around the internet all day, every day, Facebook, Instagram,
For sure.
remarketing, like just
For
Google,
sure.
YouTube. I know, and now you're doing TikTok and stuff now too.
Hmm.
So just talk about like the importance of paid media buying, because there's a lot of people out here that I'm friends with that I like, but we go back and forth with organic. Oh, you don't need ads. You can do
Hmm.
everything organic. You can build a 7-figure company organically. Not saying you can't. It
Yeah,
probably be harder, but what's your philosophy around ads? I know you spend a lot of money on ads and
yeah,
just media buying world. You know what I mean? What's some tips for other people and stuff like that?
for sure. So I believe so now. So I believe that if you can't profitably put $1 into ads and buy new customers, you really don't have a business,
Mm.
right? You have a disaster waiting to happen.
Ooh.
So let me explain, right? So now I know a lot of people who do really well with organic. However, with organic, you really don't own anything. So let's just say, for example, you got this, because we have people that come to us regular. They got a million person following, 2 million, 3 million following on IG, or 500,000 or whatever, but they don't even have an email list, right? So think about it. So let's think about Instagram. Let's say Instagram shuts your account down. You already know it's probably people like you wake up and your Instagram account gone.
Going right. Like it can
So
literally happen like that.
and they only got to give you no explanation, right? So your business is gone. So yeah, you made $1 million last year with your Instagram straight organic. However, now your Instagram is gone, or Instagram changes it up. So now, for example, they're real heavy, REELs, right? So if you're not willing to adjust to the reels, or now Instagram used to like show like the order, right? They used to show like only stuff you engage with, but now if you're on Instagram, stuff be all in your news feed. You don't even follow these folks, so
Right.
Instagram just kind of showing you anything. So they're always changing up their algorithm. They're always changing this stuff. So if that's the case, you have zero control. With paid advertising, you actually got control. You can actually pay to get your offer into a certain amount of people. Like with your organic, you can't guarantee that you can get in front of some amount of people. So you might have 100,000 followers on Instagram. You're probably only going to get it in front of about less than 10%, right? So when you post, you'll probably get your stuff in front of less than 10%. So if you got 100,000 followers, 50,000 of them, 75,000 of them ain't getting in front of them. However, you can actually pay to get in front of that whole audience. So you can have a post that you want your whole audience to see. You can actually pay to make sure you get in front of the whole 100,000. And you still can get in front of some organic people as well. So that gives you control. So back in the day, I used to do SEO. So I used to do like video SEO specifically. So for those who don't know what video SEO is SEO is search engine optimization. So it's basically we used to take videos and then based on certain keywords, we used to get those videos ranked on the first page of Google and then ranked on the first page of YouTube. So somebody typed in a certain keyword like MLM tips or how to get clients or Facebook marketing strategies or whatever, they'll post that in and then one of our videos will come up and then we'll push them into our system. However, Google, they have this thing. They probably still do it, but I know then they used to have this thing called updates. So they used to have like a Panda update. They had these other big algorithm updates. So when they did these updates, they would come through and they could literally wipe out everything
Yeah.
that's on the first page of Google because of what we got there is like through certain backlinks and stuff like that. So when they did these updates, so let's say for example, we get in 50 leads a day, for example, through our organic stuff, right, from our SEO. And then they do this big update and then all of our stuff goes away. So now we get 10 leads a day. So if you used to get 50 leads a day, 10% of those leads schedule a call with you. So you get 5 people scheduling a call with you per day. You get one of them to sign up. Let's say your offer is 5,000. So you're making $5,000 a day. Now you go to 10 leads a day,
Mhm.
right? One of them scheduling the call. That
Like,
dramatically impacts your business.
it might not even show up on the call.
They might not even show up on the call. So if you're running ads, now you actually got control. And then it's not about the platform. So some people tell me, well, Marquel, what if Facebook goes away? What are you going to do about Facebook ads then? It was like, it doesn't matter because I understand paid advertising. I understand direct response marketing. So we can take this skill set on any platform. So we take the same skill set. Now the mediums may change. So on YouTube, creative is a little bit different. TikTok, creative is a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it's still the direct response principles. So we can take it on LinkedIn, it works. We take it on TikTok, it works. We take it on Google and YouTube, it works. Facebook works. We even do direct mail. Some people say, well, direct mail is old school. Well, no, it's not. Right? It's a medium that actually works. Right? So once you take these paid advertising strategies and then you have this same philosophy, you can take it into anything. So it's like I can't say. I always tell people, if you're not able to run ads and properly put $1 in to buy new customers and new clients, like, you're a disaster waiting to happen because you have zero control. Now, here's what I will say. I don't recommend just doing ads. I actually recommend doing ads and content because when you do content, it makes your ads 300% more profitable, right? So you can even test it because if you're running ads and somebody see your ads, typically they're going to go watch your Instagram, see if you're on Instagram. They're going to see if you're on Google, see if you're on YouTube, see if you're on Facebook. And now you got content there. So now they binge watch your content. So now by the time they show up on your call or show up on your webinar or show up to buy something, they already kind of are very familiar with you because their content has done a lot of the heavy lifting. So I don't recommend just doing ads. I mean, you can just do ads, but I recommend doing the content as well to kind of have that hybrid approach. But I definitely don't recommend just doing content and not doing ads.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And that's what I always say. Like, the real answer is both.
Yeah, the real answer is both, for sure.
Organic marketers are just so anti-paid ads and stuff like
do
that.
both. You got to do both.
Yeah, you got to do both. That's what I definitely recommend. And, I do both, of course, paid ads and stuff like that. Because like you said, you have more control. But at the same time, like you said, your organic post or your content helps your paid ads and fuel and everything like that.
100%.
Yep, definitely. So does anybody, have any questions? I don't have too many more questions. Definitely, want you to let people know. I already seen some questions down there, like if people want to work with you, how can they get started? More about, CAU and everything that you guys offer. But I already know some folks down there wondering, like, all right, this is great. Like, I got to get what you have. I got to get into your program. And, how can people do that?
For sure. So I would recommend, so if y'all here, y'all rock with me, I would recommend go to, so if you go to paidadplaybook.com, so that's PAID adplaybook.com, paidadplaybook.com. That shows you how to get 50 to 100 leads every single day that convert into clients. You can go get that for free. And it comes with a bonus video that actually dive into how to customize. So you can go get that for 100% free. Also, if we not connect on Instagram, come connect with me on Instagram and then shoot me a direct message and let me know you was on here. And I got another bonus gift for you as well. If you shoot me a DM and we connect here. And then if you also want to have a quick chat and just say, okay, hey, I definitely want to see how we can work together. Just in that direct message, just also say that you want to have a chat and we can get a call scheduled. But if you just want the bonus gift, shoot me a DM and say, hey, bonus gift, I was on the live with Ryan, and then I'll get that to you. But go get the Pay That Playbook. Go get the Pay That Playbook at paythatplaybook.com, and then shoot me a DM here on Instagram, and then let's connect. But I'm definitely here for some questions. Let's get to it.
Yeah, if anybody got any questions, you said it was paid ad.
Yep, paidadplaybook.com.
I'm gonna type that in and just pin it.
All right, bet.
Yeah, if anybody has any question, listen, you got the man right now, so you better get your questions in right now.
Absolutely. Let's do it. I'm with it. Let's see. Any questions? Here it is, paidadplaybook.com. That's it. All right, cool. What questions y'all got? Let's see. And let me scroll through here. I think I saw some stuff coming through. Let me see. So I'm really losing money because I don't have paid ads. Absolutely. 100%. Because you don't got no control, man. It's like when you running ads, you got control. You can buy new customers at will. So you can literally look at your business and be like, all right, I spent $5,000 on ads last month and I got X amount of clients.
Right.
So let me see if I can spend $20,000 this month and see if that will quadruple or whatever that looks like.
Right. And I feel as though as well, we love content and stuff like that and organic content, but I feel like you always on the treadmill. Still got to pump out new stuff. Like you said, the algorithms change as opposed to paid ads. You can literally wake up and already have 100 new leads.
Bingo.
Wake up. You know what I mean?
Bingo. And even with this live, right? So X amount of people will see this live organically. we can add gasoline on this live and run some ads to it. And now everybody who watched this live, we can pixel them and start showing them other stuff because they watched 25% of this live. Like you can't just do that with just organic. Like you only get settled for how many people automatically show up based on who Instagram decides to notify, and then based on the people who actually share it. But you can actually take full control and say, I want 1 million people to see this live.
Right.
And then you can put some, literally, and then put some gas on this thing. Okay, cool. I see some questions. So how do we work with you if we don't have a business yet, but still want to learn? So if you don't have a business yet, I would probably say figure out like what kind of business you want to have. Because if you got a business, I mean, we can serve you better in like helping you get clients and so forth. So that's what I would decide, like, what is it that you want to do? And then, lock in on that. And then we can help you like grow it and get clients for it. Do you use ClickFunnels to run ads? Nah, ClickFunnels. So a lot of times people mix up the tools, right? So ClickFunnels is simply a tool, right? So a lot of people think that, I'm sure you get it all the time, Ryan, because you're the funnel doctor. People come to you, they want to get their funnels. And they're like, well, I got a funnel. I already got ClickFunnels. Well, it's like, you don't have a funnel. You just got a tool. It's no difference than having a hammer, or it's like you got a laptop. So I got an internet business because I got a laptop. It's like, no, you just got a laptop. You don't got an online business. You just got a laptop, right? So ClickFunnels is just simply a tool. So it's just designed to build pages.
Right.
Brown Ting. If you want to start a business with no following, low startup costs, what business would you start? Great question. I believe the best business model in the world is an expert-based business. So expert-based business is basically taking your knowledge and expertise, figuring out, okay, what's some knowledge and expertise that I have that I can actually package and then help other people solve a specific problem for. So Brown Ting, I would ask you, what's some knowledge and expertise that you have that you can actually use and package to help other people with? So I believe that's the best business model in the world. Low cost startup costs, low overhead, massive profit. It's amazing. I have a few music festivals. I'm trying to grow my audience. How can I go about doing this using your methods? It depends, right? So it depends. So one couple ways you can do it. So it depends on like who is going to be at the music festival. So if you have some people who have some notoriety who's going to be at the music festival, you can start getting clips of them and start running ads to those clips. And then promoting people, letting people know they're going to be at the music festival, and then pushing them to register. If you got some people who don't really have notoriety, you can still really do the same strategy. It may not convert as high, but you can still test it and then like have clips of their videos, and then letting people like experience their music, and then say, hey, if you like this, you better experience more of them at our upcoming music festival. Go register. Do you have to have a target market to do paid ads? Absolutely. I definitely recommend having a target audience. Or you're going to just waste a lot of money. Is your strategies for a product level business, or can I use the same concept for my service level? So all the strategies that I teach is specifically for service-based businesses. So it's not like if you sell like weave, or if you sell like, wallets and stuff like that, that ain't really our lane. We prefer more so expert service level, higher ticket type of offers because they have higher profit margins. So that gives us more room to actually attract more clients. So I see you in the real estate space, Lindsay. So yeah, we use these strategies a lot with people in real estate. Does Google Ads count, or do you just work with Facebook? Google Ads does count because, like I said, you can use the same strategies on a different platform. There's some nuance based on the platform, but I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people like have a lot of negative stuff to say about Facebook and all the stuff they say in the media and all that. But hands down, we run ads on all platforms. Hands down, when it comes down to the level of targeting and all the different type of stuff, with all the different stuff people say about it, Facebook is unmatched when it comes to the level of even though they're removing certain targeting and stuff like that, they're still unmatched when it comes to targeting and stuff like that, hands down.
Definitely. And especially like being able to really pinpoint where your money's going.
Yep.
Like the penny of like, all right, how many people saw it, my reach, my clicks, my cost per click, my lead, like literally to the penny, like you can see where your money's going as opposed to other platforms. You may be, spending money on paid media, but you can't really necessarily pinpoint, you can have certain direct response or UTMs or call to action to do that on the back end. But with Facebook, you literally can log in and like look at everything.
100%. How much do you recommend starting off paying for ads a day to test? So it depends. So I typically will say, so a good rule of thumb is I would say, okay, how much is your offer? So let's just say, for example, if your offer is $3,000, right? A new client is for $3,000. I would set a budget for $3,000, and then you just decide how fast you want to spend that $3,000. So you may say, okay, I'm gonna spend $3,000 because I want to get one client this month. So you'll say, okay, I'm gonna spend $10 a day. Is that 300? No, it's $100 a day times 30. So that'd be 3,000. But you may say, okay, I want to get a client a week. So you say I'm gonna spend 3,000 this week divided by 7 and then break it up like that. So that's kind of a good
Mm-hmm.
methodical way. One way I could say is just pick something that you're willing to start with, $5, $10 or more, whatever. But the more you're willing to spend faster, the faster you can get enough data to actually make some decisions based on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what's the minimum investment to run ads where it would benefit the business? Okay, I just answered that one. I have an upcoming empowerment event. Should I run ads, and how much should I spend to see ROI? So it depends. So events. So I don't know if this is a live event or a virtual event. So events are. I'm gonna just say quote. I'm just using air quotes. Harder with ads
It is.
because it's a lot more moving pieces,
Yeah.
right? Because you're getting people to like show up. You got to get people to not only buy a ticket, but actually commit to showing up. All this different type of stuff, and depending on how far out you start promoting, and then especially if it's a live in-person event, so now they got to get tickets and they got to get flights and the hotel, all this different type of stuff. So I think all that's important, and it's also important of like how big is your brand? Like, do people know who you are, and then who are like the other speakers that you're gonna have there? And then what's different about your event? Because a lot of people doing events now, especially since
Right.
COVID is kind of winding down. So it's like, why should people carve out time? So it's like, it's a lot more moving pieces and it's a lot more complexity when it comes to actually doing events. And are you selling at the event? So are you just making money off ticket sales or can you go in the red on your ticket sales because you're gonna make money at the event?
Mm-hmm.
Also, is this your first time doing the event?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
have you done this event before and you got your back end numbers in place? So you know, okay, if I go in the red or if I just break even on ticket sales, I know on the back end I can actually convert and make money at the actual event. So it's a lot of different moving pieces when it comes to
Yeah.
events.
But yeah, agree with that. And I work with tons of campaigns where people are doing events like that. It's just so many moving parts to it. It's really one of those it depends type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know more about everything that you do in your event and your back end to really give you a real educated answer.
For sure. Could you suggest the same strategy? Would you suggest the same strategy for product-based business? I wouldn't personally. Ryan will probably can give you some more perspective on like how the ads work from a product-based business. I know for me, one of the things that I know that tends to be an issue for product-based businesses is like your average order value not being enough. So, for example, if you're only selling a wallet, for example, and your wallet is $20, and that's all you got to sell, that means you can only spend up to 15 to 19 to be profitable. Not even really that, because you still got fulfillment costs and you still
Right.
got all that. So it's easier to lose your money with a lower price offer if your average order and all that other stuff doesn't make sense. So that's pretty much what I got, and that's one of the reason I'm not a huge fan of it. But what insight you got on that, Ryan?
Yeah, I would say like three main things with the product brands that we work with is number one, definitely the average order value, making that as high as possible, and definitely having a strategic funnel where it's like if someone comes through, the main goal of a product funnel that we build is really to increase the cart value. So we want even if you sell something for $20 or whatever on the front end, once they come in the store, we want to upsell them. We want them to buy other stuff, and I'm sure y'all probably see. Even when you went and got the $40 ebook and it was upsells,
Yep.
anytime people, when you go to buy something, a product brand, the smart ones, it's other stuff they want you to add to the cart. So that's like the one main thing. The second one, with product businesses that scale, is a volume play.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just got to do volume. You know what I mean? Like you said, with a $20,000 client, you only need one or only a few of them to really get to 6 or 7 figures. With the product brand, if you're selling something for 20, 50, $100, like you got to have volume to really
Yep.
scale. And then the third main thing is definitely the customer lifetime value.
Yep.
So even if you do go in the red on the front end, but your back end numbers, like I know if I do spend $20, $30 to get a customer and we break even or we lose, I know that customer shops with me again in 30 days or
Yep.
20 days or whatever it is. So we kind of know our return rate and everything like that. So I would say those are some of the main things where product brands can be successful with ads and stuff.
For sure. For sure. I would love to work with you all and be a reference. It kills skepticism because we hear the same content and don't know who to choose or if it really works. Got it. I mean, the best thing I typically say is like, look at the success stories. Like you can tell if somebody really winning, not based on what they're doing, because it's easy to market and sell, but like, look at the success stories. Like, do they got other success stories? Look at the receipts. The receipts don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
How much does it cost to work with you? If you're talking about me, I mean it varies. So I would say I'll probably just reach out and let's have a chat, but it definitely varies. Let's see here. All right, cool. I don't see. You see some more questions in here, bro? I don't think. I
No,
don't.
I was scrolling. I don't. Uh,
Anybody else got any questions?
yeah. Any last question? Listen, you got the man here right now. You better get your questions
Get your questions in, y'all. Get your questions in.
in right now. Again, if you haven't already, go to paidadplaybook.com. It's totally free. He's gonna give you the blueprint right there for free. Make sure you go and definitely get access to that uh,
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't already.
Definitely. Definitely. Cool, cool, cool. Real Don Morton. What's good, Don? Lawrence on here. Cool. What's up, Lawrence? Let me just make sure I didn't overlook anything.
All right, okay. Listening by Lindsay said, "Thank you. I'm DMing you right now."
Okay, perfect. I'm looking forward to it. I'm scared I can't afford him. So I'm glad you said that, right? So here's the thing, y'all. So I hired one of my first coaches when I was um you never hire a coach when you can afford it,
Mm,
right? Because if you can afford the coach, you probably don't need them,
mm,
right?
mm,
So everything you require is outside of your reach in your mind. So I'm gonna give you an example. And this ain't to convince you to work with us either way, because I mean we only work with like people we know we can help anyway. So this ain't that. But I just want to help you and anybody else who has that thinks thoughts, because I was there as well, just going forward, right? So it's like if you can't afford to do something, you can't afford not to do it,
mm,
right? So I had one of my first coaches. I was living in an apartment. It was $400 a month. I had just got evicted from my apartment. I was driving a 1994 Lumina. My girlfriend is now my wife. She actually was paying all the bills. She used to give me an allowance because she was a bartender. She used to get cash every day, so she'd give me cash, and I used to use it to buy courses. So I was doing a podcast. This was 2016. I just posted the podcast the other day, actually. The graphic. So it's 2016.
saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2016, and I was interviewing people. It's called I Love Entrepreneurship. One of the guys I interviewed, a lot of the big interviews I got was just I was on their email list, and one day I was just replying to Cat, seeing who I could get. This brother, I knew he had made over $30 million in revenue. Super low key though, but he's helped a lot of big dogs, right? So I was like, "Hey man, would you be open to getting on me interviewing me for my podcast?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we got on and we did the podcast. And then I asked him, I'm like, "Hey man, do you offer coaching?" Because I'm like, this dude that made over 30 million here, brother. I'm like, he knows something I don't know. So I'm like, "Hey man, do you offer coaching?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, I do." And I asked him, and he was like, he told me how much it was, and I was like, sheesh. So I was like, all right, let's do it. I was like, "Can we break it up?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'd be open to breaking it up." He actually respected the idea that I asked him, "Could we break it up?" And so we did it. And fast forward, he actually led me to doing my first event. And that was big. And now that's continued to snowball. And now not only is he still a mentor of mine, but he's a friend, still a mentor that I continue to play. We actually chopped it the other day. But because of making those investments, the investments is always what stretches you. If you're not doing stuff, if you're only doing the stuff that you can afford, number one, you're playing small ball. And number two, you're never going to tap into what you're looking to tap into. You got to do the things that you can't afford, because first of all, affording is not even a thing. Let's say, for example, let's say you want to work with somebody that was $25,000, and you was like, "Ain't no way I'm able to pay them $25,000." However, let's say, for example, something happened to a family member or your kids or something like that, and it was going to cost you $25,000 to get your kid from dying or whatever. Because I know it's a dramatic example, but it's real. You figure it out. So you got to just figure out, is your
Right.
current goals, regardless, this ain't about working with me. This ain't working about working around. It's about just you and your goals, right? You got to decide, is my reasons that I got to make this happen, are they bigger than my reasons why I can't do this or why I can't afford this in my mind? Because you can afford anything you want to afford, right? And we've all bought stuff that we didn't think we could afford just because we know we felt like we required it. So it's a matter of just figuring it out,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? So that's for me. I know every big investment I've made, and I do it all the time. Still to this day, I always get that gut feeling like I'm finna throw up or like
Right.
this uneasy feeling. But I move towards that feeling. So when I feel that, that means, okay, this is something I need to do. I move towards that feeling, and I don't let that feeling, make me pull back. Because I trust myself, and I trust myself that if I make this investment, if it's up to me, I'm gonna figure it out. I don't care how much it is. If don't say give me what I require, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make it happen because I trust me, not so much the coach or not so much on that. I trust me
Mm.
to actually implement the information that I'm gonna get to get the ROI.
Definitely, and I definitely think it's a mindset thing too of like, because I know it's a lot of people, and not specifically, was it Lindsay that had the question, but a lot of people already go into it like, I know I can't afford it, I know I'm not gonna be able to, I'm not like whatever, but it's like instead of like I know I'm not gonna be able to afford it, it's like okay, how can I afford it? You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
Like, what do I got to do to make sure I can afford it? Because I know I need this.
for
And also,
sure.
another key thing when you were talking is really you built that relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
it's necessarily just about you paying your mentor or the person you did the podcast with. Like now is someone that you still to this day have a relationship. So I already know that investment
Yep.
that you probably made that a
In
hundred
spades. In
or
spades.
being connected to them and the relationships and other gems probably give you or other people
Yep.
you introduce you to. So it's like you say, you gotta play bigger.
Yeah, you pay for proximity, right? Think about it. Me and you met at an event 6+ years ago, however long that was ago. We met at that event, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So, all right, Daniel said, "Do you ever work with motivational speakers, and how does it work in that space?" Yeah, I work with motivational speakers all the time, actually. And one of the things we help motivational speakers do is get on more stages. That's number one. And then how to monetize that, whether you're getting paid to speak or not getting paid to speak. Because I got this thing called speaking for free, but getting a keynote fee. So a lot of times I teach motivational speakers that. And then another thing that I teach motivational speakers is like, how do you create a premium price offer? Because a lot of the motivational speakers and speakers in general who we work with, a lot of them are soaring right now, even through COVID, while a lot of speakers got knocked out because they couldn't speak. But
Yeah.
because we showed them how to disconnect their labor from their income, now they're able to continue to soar even though that happened. So yeah, we work with a lot of motivational speakers and just speakers in general.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. I mean, I can afford it. I just didn't know what to expect. Okay, cool. Now I wasn't saying you couldn't afford it, but I'm just saying a lot of times people have that hesitancy. We have people that won't even reach out. They like, I know I can't afford it.
Right.
It's like I ain't never even. You don't even know how much it is. It's like I just know I can't. I'm in education. Where did the question go? I'm in education. So how can ads send me to educators in particular? So it's literally the same approach. It's about the attraction factor, right? Attracting people to you and then showing them why you can actually help them solve their particular problem. So spend 5K for the conference. Yes. Cool. Let me see. Two. Speaking for free, begin the keynote fee. Yep. That's how you do it. I mean, you can speak for free as long as you know what you're doing and you got the process in place. But I can show you how to do that. Maybe we can do another live about that or something. But you can actually speak for free and still make 20, 50, 100,000
Oh yeah.
plus, depending on how you structure. And that's not even from pitching on stage, right? You don't even got to pitch from stage and still get a keynote fee. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I don't see any other questions. So yeah, but other than that, man, like I said, I definitely appreciate you coming on and just dropping so many gems for the people. If y'all got value out of this conversation, please drop something in the comments. Let us know. If you haven't already, make sure you follow Marquel. Go to paidadplaybook.com. It's totally free. You definitely gonna hear more for us, bro. I know we're gonna be talking a lot more offline.
For sure.
I definitely just appreciate you coming on. I know your time is very valuable. I know you're very busy. You got a lot going on.
I
So
appreciate being here, bro. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate the invitation.
yep, absolutely. So, if you got any last words for the people or anything else besides the amazing gems you already dropped, feel free to drop it.
Yeah, I'll say two things. So number one, I would say I know a lot of times people jump on lives and watch content, get on webinars, go to events and all that good stuff, right? And I think there's a lot of value in that. However, if you're not implementing anything, you're just wasting your time, right? You don't learn anything by consuming information. You only learn by implementing. So the time you've invested with us, whether you've been here the entire hour, you got on the last 15 minutes, you've been here 30 minutes, take one thing at least that you've heard and go implement it. Then don't answer a whole lot of questions. Don't try to figure it out. Just go implement it in some capacity, right? And then you'll get some data. Whatever it may not. I don't care. Data, a result. It may not even be what you wanted, but it's still a result. So go implement. That's the only way you learn, by actually implement. So that's number one. Number two, right now we live in the best time in the history of the world to be alive. Like you can hold up your phone and go live. Ryan is in Philly. I'm in Atlanta. We can jump on here and serve X amount of people, right? And then some of them end up working with us in some capacity, and then most won't, but they'll still get something, still can go out and do something. You can build a business from your phone, from your laptop, from a Wi-Fi connection, just from using your knowledge and expertise. Like all of our ancestors, the Madam C.J. Walkers, the Master Musas, the Marcus Garveys, the A.G. Gastons, like none of them had these resources. None of them had Wi-Fi. None of them had cell phones. None of them had laptops. None of them had Zoom meeting. All this different type of stuff. But they built $1 million, multi-million dollar, some billion-dollar empires. We got all these resources, so it's our duty to take advantage of these resources to continue the legacy that they started for us to build and continue to help more. So take advantage of it. Don't sit around being a spectator, watching other individuals win. Get in the game. Now it's your time. So let's get to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really care about taking a whole bunch of notes and getting 30 different things. Like take one thing, implement it, use it to
That's
grow
it.
business, and that's going to take you to the next level.
That's it.
So yeah, like I said, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on. I know we're going to be talking a lot more. You're going to hear a lot more from us coming up, y'all. Definitely stay tuned. So yeah, other than that, man, have a great day. Everyone, go and take over the world. Thanks again, my brother.
For sure. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.